welcome to another episode of the Suited to Serve podcast. I'm super excited for this one. We got an educator in the building. We have a mentor in the building. We have a coach in the building. I am talking about none other than the great Randal Chuck Webster, who's in the building today. We're going to talk about education. We're going to talk about mentorship. We're going to talk about the football program out there because I know you're passionate about that.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to get into it, man. Before we get into what you do, before I let you tell the people what you do, give me your top 5 MCs all time.
The icebreaker.
And all of them can't be Nas, man.
All right, so
all of them can't be Nas.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, Key, I don't actually have a top 5.
Okay.
Actually, I lied.
No, they all can't be Nas. They all can't be Nas.
So I can't say he number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Give me somebody else, man. Give me 4 other cats, bro,
all right,
that
so,
you about to.
Fair enough. So you got Nasir Jones at number 1. Number 2, I actually put Chris 1, also known as KRS 1.
Excellent.
Then, number 3, I'd have to go with your man, Jigga.
Okay.
Actually, number 4, we talking about my top 5, right?
Yeah.
Jada, Jada Kiss, and then so it's hard because you know what kick I'm on, but if I had to round it all off, I'm gonna have to go with Rakim.
Okay. Hey man, that's a solid list, bro. I don't have no rebuttals for any of them cats. Hey man, tell the people what you do out there at Trinity, bro.
Well, I've been at Trinity for a very long time. I want, to give the short version to the answer. I am, at this point, we wear a lot of hats at Trinity. I'm a high school administrator, and I'm also, a teacher in a high school. I coach. I'm the head coach of the football team. I actually coach our bigs, our post players in basketball, and I'm also our track coach. And also have extensive athletic administration duties as well. And so I've been at Trinity. Trinity is only from a professional standpoint and a vocation standpoint, it's the only place that I know. I've been at Trinity actually since while I was still in college, that I started off doing after school.
I
started off doing after school there, man. And kind of like the rest is history, man. Like 28 years later.
Gotcha. No, you definitely wear a lot of hats, man. But I want to talk about. We're gonna get into several of the hats you wear out there,
right.
But I want to lock in on the football.
Of course you do.
I want to lock.
That's what we talk about.
Let me ask you, man. You consider yourself a legend?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
Well,
all the things you accomplished out there.
Well, first of all, I'm very grateful for anything that I've accomplished or whatnot. Without the Lord and His guidance, man, I wouldn't be anywhere without Him, and that's for sure. So we've done some great things at Trinity, but as far as me being a legend, I just don't, I don't look at it like that. And I know I'm different, and I don't associate with a lot of people, and I don't talk with them. I'm not, I'm kind of in like in my own box there at Trinity, and there's a reason for that, and we can actually get a little more into that later though. But as far as me being a legend, no, man, because one, when I think of a legend, you know what I mean, and I know that they say living legends and whatnot. Okay, so I'm still at it, man, and I still got a lot in the tank, and the job is not done. So it's a grind now. However many years that we got left or whatnot, I'm not sure, but I'm still here and I'm still going strong. And I'm not even, I'll be 48. I'll be 48. I'll be 48 in August 23rd. So, so I don't think that. And plus, I also think I'm a legend. There's a lot of great ones before me that I actually played up under. The late great Coach Bob Paroli. I mean, that's my heart right there, and he has a tremendous amount of. He gets a tremendous amount of credit of who I am today as a coach and an educator. Just the toughness and the mental toughness that he instilled in me and all of my teammates that I carry with me every day. Man, I can walk through fires and I'm not scared of any obstacles and adversity. Like anybody else though. You don't have tough times, but I always know that I'm going to overcome. You know what I mean? And I'm going to persevere. Through that. So I'm very grateful to him, and also my college coach, may he rest in peace as well. Coach Jim Seipel, he had a big role in who I am today, especially when it comes to coaching, because I remember I was always that that player that paid attention and believed in his coach and bought in. And so a lot of the lessons that I try to teach these guys and the strategies with it, come from those two.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm almost a chip off the old block,
Sure.
or I should say blocks with those
For
two.
sure.
So
And that's it's funny you spoke. Well, first of all, shout out to Coach Paroli.
absolutely,
Rest in peace, the Paroli family.
absolutely.
He's definitely a legend in this community and the state.
Yeah.
For the most part, his name is recognized through the state. That was actually one of my questions that I was hoping to get to, but you got to it. As far as his influence.
Yeah,
on you.
yeah.
Because you speak very highly of Coach Paroli.
I do.
Every time we talk about high school football,
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to those Bird days
It does.
where y'all made that run in the mid to late '90s.
Yeah, so like all of the '90s, really, man.
Yeah,
it was
you can say that.
it was a lot
So,
of and
for
so
sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Got you. That's dope, man. Me going to 71st, we had a lot of respect for Coach Paroli in the program over there that he helped build at Douglasburg. And the reason why I actually got to that question of asking you, do you consider yourself a legend? Which I respect your response. It was very humble. But I feel like all of the things that you just said about Coach Paroli, you provide to your kids.
I try to, and I do. I mean, I do, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Listen, that at the end of the day, when you have proper perspective, the X's and O's and the wins and losses, those are great. Just being a competitor, those are going to come. I tell my kids and I tell others all the time, I've won enough, I've lost enough, I've won enough championships to where, and I have an understanding that that's not my primary purpose with those kids. I'm trying to instill some life lessons in them, and of course, some inner toughness and some mental fortitude, because the world is crazy. And as young men, I have a passion about them understanding that the world don't care about you. You know what I mean? The world don't care about you, and then you guys are going to be future husbands, future fathers. Like, what you gonna do if you don't feel like you ain't necessarily feeling great when it's time to get up out of the bed and go provide for your family? You're gonna lay in the bed, you're gonna lay out of work, or you're gonna get up on your 2 feet and be a man, thank God for everything, and go do what you have to do. You know what I mean? And so that's what I tell them. I tell them it's more than football, man.
Yeah.
And they understand, like, these are 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And so it always resonates a few years after they've left me, and they left Trinity and they've graduated, and then they get into the world, and they come back, and they're like, Coach, I know what you were saying. And so that's the main energy that keep me going year after year after year. I feel like I have to make a difference because I have to pay it forward. You know what I mean? Because I grew up, it was just me and my mom, a single parent home and stuff. And so, the likes of Coach Paroli's, and I have to mention also a good friend of mine who's passed away, Sandy Wilson. They filled some roles for me to show me what being a man was about, and I take that for granted. And then and of course, you fast forward, I have that same dynamic going on with a lot of my kids. A lot of my kids, don't have the fathers in the home and things of that nature. Not saying that I'm trying to be their dad, but I'm trying to be a solid role model to help them, to do my part to help them understand what being a man is all about.
Man, I think, I really appreciate everything you just said because I think you just painted a picture to people that didn't quite understand that coaching is so much bigger than X's and O's.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, sometimes, your coach be the only male figure you have. He be the only example of a man that a lot of these kids may have, man.
Exactly.
Talk to us. I know out there at Trinity, it's a family.
It is.
Environment,
Absolutely.
family, atmosphere. Talk to me a little bit about how much mentorship means to these kids.
It's everything, man, because I get an opportunity basically to mentor kids, and please don't let me leave out my female students because I have a passion for them as well, and I try to show them along with their fathers, and some of them are also, come from single parent homes,
Yeah,
like how a man should be and how a man should, my wife, of course,
for sure.
works there with me at
We're gonna
Trinity,
get
and
into
and,
that.
and
Yeah.
the interaction between she and I, they
Mhm.
need to see how they're supposed to be treated.
Yeah.
How females are supposed to be treated by men, and that's just not any old kind of way. It's supposed to be. They need to be led,
Mhm.
treated with love and respect. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so, that's where we at with that.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. You know, the females are important. The young
Yeah.
ladies are important. Um, and it seems like and you give me your perspective on this because you deal with a lot of you know situations with involving parents out there
Right.
with the kids. But it seems like the females may be a little more covered than a lot of the males. What's your experience with that?
What do you mean, like
Just
covered?
covered as far as it just seems like a lot of the young males don't have a lot of OGs to look up to.
Right.
With the young ladies, they normally have the mothers normally in place.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations, maybe not
Right.
all,
Right. Right.
but then they also got aunties, they
Right.
got grandma. You know, from my experience in coaching, I found that a lot of the young boys, they don't have a lot, as far as masculine energy around them until they get on the football field. A lot of kids that play for me, I love them all, but
Right.
some of them weren't football players. But I
Right.
understood they just needed to be around the
Oh
guys.
yeah, yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
that ultimate perspective there,
Yeah.
like every one of my players, I have a good number of players every year
Mm-hmm.
that that's not really going to be impact players as far
Mm-hmm.
as on the field of play, but they're coached the same and they're nurtured the same and they get the same attention as everybody else
For
because
sure.
like I said, it's about maturation and it's about preparation for the adult life,
Mm-hmm.
and being men. And so, to go with but we do have there's some female influences there at Trinity, some strong ones
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
speak of my wife
For sure.
Julia,
Mm-hmm.
for one. And so,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good deal that we have there. Trinity is found, it's a foundation of God, man, and it's built on the Word of God,
Nice.
and a lot as some people have a lot to say about Trinity, but at the end of the day, we're doing great things in
Yeah.
and out of that classroom, man. And so we just keep our head down, push forward, in Him, and give God all the glory, man. That's just it's a lovely thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's only one Trinity. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's just what it is. I'm not saying that you don't have other institutions, that set out to do the same thing and set those same values, man. But how we do it and how long we've been able to do it, and with the nucleus of administration and teachers that we have, is very special. It's
Yeah.
totally divine.
Well, let's talk about that, man, because I know you mentioned, people having certain things to say about, Trinity. When I was in school, I didn't hear a lot about private school.
Right.
So, can you paint a picture of what the difference between private school and public school is for people who may not understand?
Good question.
Hmm.
So the biggest thing is, let's talk about the classroom. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So the class sizes are smaller for one.
Hmm.
So with the class
In
sizes being
private school.
in private school,
Okay,
I'm
got
sorry.
you. Hmm.
So with the class sizes being small in private school, of course, there's just more time for one-on-one, like remediation and things of that nature. The culture is totally different. Like a Trinity, like I'm saying, kids can be comfortable a lot of times in the larger sector. This is, of course, nothing against public school. I graduated from public school. You
Yeah,
graduated from public
yeah,
school.
for sure. This ain't
Um,
no shade.
yeah, it's a
It's
lot of
just showing
yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Like I said, I didn't know nothing about private school when I
Right,
was in
right,
school, and I'm sure there's other people out there that don't know much about
right,
how it works.
right.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of things that kids have to worry about in that larger sector of public school, like the bullying. A
Hmm.
lot of times they feel like they put a lot of pressure on their parents. I think they got to have the newest J's, the newest. A lot of times it's a fashion show, or they'll get picked on, stuff like that. It's not like that
Hmm.
there. You know what I mean? Of course, you're still dealing with kids, so you have some of that. But me as an administrator, like it's certain. I want the kids to be in a comfortable environment where they feel like they can come and learn, and I want them to feel like, um, don't be embarrassed to ask questions.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how
Hmm.
you move forward, in the classroom, and we have that there, man. And the kids, it's just like the culture there, like for the majority of the time, the kids just gravitate to what we're doing, and they just fall in, even though they may have come from a hostile, environment and been a little hostile themselves. It's just it automatically switches there. And I think it's the spirit of God up in Trinity that caused that calmness for them and more security and more confidence. You know what I mean? Because they know they're not gonna have to worry about a lot of things that they would in a larger sector.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the things that you just shared about the smaller class, what is it?
Smaller class
Smaller
sizes,
class
yes,
sizes,
right.
smaller class sizes, not
Smaller
wrong.
class sizes, yeah.
That's a huge benefit, man.
Yeah,
Because I was one of those kids that needed some one on one.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Me too.
I'm like, yo, can I come after school today and get some tutoring? Because I'm lost.
Right.
And especially when you in large classes, it can be a bit intimidating when everybody else is picking up stuff and you kind of stuck.
Exactly.
So that's a huge
Most definitely.
bonus to a private school. Okay, that's dope. That's dope. I want to get back on the football for a second, though,
All right.
man, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Now I know that you built that program up, the football program from the beginning.
Well, I'm not going to, I can't take all the credit.
Okay.
Let me give you a little story.
Please.
And I'll try to give you the short version.
Yeah.
So like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I started working after school there at Trinity. And the wife, she was already teaching there.
Okay.
I was finishing up, my bachelor's degree over at Methodist. And so Trinity is family owned. You have Pastor Dennis Van Devener. You have his wife, Linda Van Devener. And then they have a son, Heath Van Devener. And this is back in like 98. He told Julia, hey, I'm going to, we're going to start a football team. I was wondering if you think, Chuck would mind helping out. And she was like, well, he loved football. He's like, I'm sure, if he has the time, he definitely would help you out. And so he came up to me and brought it to my attention that during that time when we started the football program, we were 8-man, real small. I guess, we may have only had like 50, like, 40 or 50 kids in high school.
Like, so what positions were eliminated in 8-man ball?
So it depends on how you look at it. It depends formation wise. Okay. So like, for example, here's the biggest thing in 8-man. Like, so everybody, the last man on the line of scrimmage is eligible. You know what I'm saying? No matter the number, they don't have to have So the tackles can run them corner routes, catch touchdowns like everybody else. So I was run oriented. So my offense looked
coming from where you came from.
Coming where I came from. So we would have a 5-man line, center, 2 guards, 2 ends, quarterback, of course, and I ran a fullback and a tailback.
Okay.
So anytime that I wanted to, spread it out a little bit offensively,
get rid of the fullback.
You either have to get rid of the fullback, the tailback, go with the 1 back, or you would take those ends and make them receivers, and now you're working with a 3-man line, in which that became that's hard to deal with. Well, it was hard to deal with too. You got an athletic quarterback and you got some good receivers, like you cause matchup problems and whatnot.
A lot of quick
So and then so I was like, yeah, man, I'll start, I'll help you, what I'm saying, with the football program, man. And we started that thing, and the first year was 1999, and had a lot of success. I took over as the head coach. What was that, in like 2007? We won 3 straight state championships.
Nice.
Won our record was like 43-0 in those 3 years.
Wow.
So then it was evident to us, and that was always the goal. Like, listen, it's time to move. It's time to move up to 11-man. Our enrollment was a little better, So we went to 11-man in 2010. 8-man. We were 8-man from 1999 to 2000 to 2009.
Oh, okay.
So that's like 11 years. So like 11 seasons. Yeah, it was. But like I said, man, Trinity was tiny, man, and we just grew. Like when we started the school back in the early 90s, the way that was done was like we would start with kindergarten, and we added a grade every year until we had our first graduation class in what was that, 2004. Yeah,
that's what's up. One of the things that I really admire about you is that you got married at a young age.
I did.
22. Were you in college or?
I was in college. We got married. We got married at at the chapel at Methodist. She had graduated, but I was still in college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've admired that about you. During the whole relationship, one of the things that I respect about you is that you always speak highly of your wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You always speak highly. Tell me of her influence in your life and what she's, how she's made you a better man.
Well, she's she really is my everything, man. And of course, we've been married 25 years. It'd be 26. It'd be 26
You don't
in
even
April.
seem old enough to be
Right.
married that
I
long,
was a
bro.
baby when I got, when I got married, man. But
Yeah.
she's an incredible woman. She's incredibly driven, incredibly intelligent, and I have to, she's actually exactly 2 years older than me. Our birthday is on the same day, August 23rd. And so, like, from a professional standpoint, like, she has, and and I'm not ashamed to admit this or whatnot. Um, she has built me up to where I am today from a professional standpoint and an educator. Man, she's always been there for me. And she's always believed in me. You know what I mean? Like, and she's always pushed me. You gotta have a woman. Every man needs a woman that's going to see something in you that maybe he didn't see in himself. And that's exactly what she did, man. And I've been as uncomfortable with her as any lead administrator, like pastor, and he's challenged me too. But she's been monumental for who I am today, and I'm very grateful for her. She was definitely sent to me by God, and that she really is my everything, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, shout out to wifey.
Absolutely.
Man, everything you said was beautiful, man. The one thing that me being a single guy, that kind of flows through my head. How did you know that you were prepared for commitment at such a young age?
Man, that's a solid question.
Like,
man.
to get married at, you said 22?
22. I was 22.
And when I think of that, my son about to be 23. I
Right.
can't imagine him being like, Dad, I'm about to get
married.
married. Right. So at such a young age, how did you know, like, this is what I want to do? This is what's best for me?
I've always been. I'm different, man. I've always thought different. I've never been one to, commitment even at an early age, commitment was really big for me. You know what I mean? That was a huge deal for me. And so, we started dating and everything, and I knew that it was just in me that I knew that this was the woman that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And she felt the same way. And so it wasn't anything hard for me, man. Like I said, like, when I mean hard, I never thought that I need to do this or that or date this amount of women before I get married. Nah, I fell in love with her. She fell in love with me, and that was huge too. I was a shy guy and things of that nature. The story, of how we actually met and started kicking it, man. It's a funny one. And then so I was just like, hey, let's get married. And then she was like, let's do it. And so there you have it. So what is that? So we dated for 4 years, and then we got married. So, like I said, so it's been about a 30-year relationship, me and this chick. And wow. It's amazing.
That's dope, man.
It's amazing.
I'm proud of you for that. I wasn't there at the beginning, right? But, I know the character of the man that's sitting right here in front of me, man, and I know the wife has contributed to a lot of that. So,
tremendously.
I always have respect for her whenever I see her, just because of who you are.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, man, do you feel like in relationship, whether it be, marriage or not, just relation, do you feel like men can be too vulnerable with our emotions and our feelings with our woman?
Yeah, because just by nature, normally, the female is the moved by emotions more than men. So, but you do have cases, where men are emotional, and to me, that can be kind of dangerous for a man to move with emotion.
Sure.
He's got to he's the leader. He's the leader. So he's got to he's got to be able to think, with his mind and his Christ spirit before he can't pay attention to the emotion that he feels, and that's not easy to do. And that's been and I'm still to the point where I'm working on that, because that's a responsibility by man. You know what I mean? And myself, I'm very high strung, but I can also be sensitive. So you got that.
Sure.
So it's it's a struggle there sometimes, man. But yeah. So emotion. The big thing is that I try not to do is I try not to ever move on by emotion. You know what I mean? I want to think through everything, any move that I make, whether it be big or small. I'm not saying that it always happens that I don't react out of emotion sometimes, but I'm definitely a lot further than I was even like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
keeping your emotions under control is very, very important. For men.
Yeah, it is, man. But I also feel like there should be some type of window or some sort of balance for men to sometimes feel safe to be emotional. Because
Yeah,
we deal with a lot of stuff,
we do,
man. You know,
we
and
do.
we suppress a lot. We
Yeah.
don't talk about a lot of the things that we're going through. But I do feel like, I guess from my experience, you know, being vulnerable and feeling safe has not really gone together in relationship.
Nah.
You know, I don't know. You have a lot of women out there that you're vulnerable with them, and when they get mad, everything you was vulnerable with comes right back
Well, you
out.
got to be careful with that, and that's
But
unfortunate.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the balance. That's the window that I'm trying to say we should have as far as men. Like, you know, we should be able to express things and not hear it later.
Yeah, we should, but everybody's human, and so I had a time there early in our relationship where we had to have those discussions. Like you want me to open up and you want me to share with you, so
Right.
you can't. The last thing
You
that you
can't
can do,
weaponize it later.
you can't do that.
Yeah,
Like
you
because
can't weaponize it.
I'll keep it all inside and I'll
Right.
shut it down on you.
Easily.
Hey, like it's nothing. And
Easily.
so yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a growing process as well, and communication is huge.
Yeah.
People talk about they always layer love with marriage, which that of course is a big part of it, man. That's
It's like
listen, man. That's just a part. Now I'm telling you,
It's like fit.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Communication and compromise is the first things that come to my mind,
Yeah.
man, when you're talking about a successful relationship,
Mhm.
especially a marriage.
Communication for
Because you
sure.
can fall in and out of love all the time, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
in a lengthy relationship. And
Yeah.
that's normal, and people need to realize that, and that's okay. And it's a partnership, and it's a commitment. So hey, yeah, you're not gonna be feeling each other all the time with it, with the googly eyes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to work through some stuff. You have to understand that at the end of the day, y'all committed to each other. Through God, as you standing there on that altar, you know what I mean? So, and you have to be long suffering. And then of course, the biggest thing for us, when things were able to, become a lot more smooth or come a lot smoother, is when we when we implemented the word of God in a major way in our
Nice.
marriage. You
Nice.
know what I mean?
Nice.
And so, and that's just what's been real to us and will stay real to us, and what's going to give us even more longevity, with our marriage. You know what I mean? So we got big plans, man. And so
Y'all still young, man.
man, yeah,
Both
hey,
of y'all.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we are like
Yeah.
like I mentioned, she, she's 2 years, exactly 2 years older than me, but I'm like, from a physical standpoint, it's like I look like I'm 15 years older than her. I mean, my wife, my wife is very. So I take on like the stress. I stress about everything. Um, I mean, she's not laid back. We have similar mentalities, man. But my wife does not. She does not look like she's going to be 50 years old this August, man.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
Yeah.
God has been good to her.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
So.
And you don't look 15 years, man.
Well,
You look good too, bro.
man,
You know what I
you
mean?
you on that, man. You always been on that. And I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
But nah, man.
you need the voice like me in your
This guy.
life.
That's true. You've been
Yeah.
you've been big
Cause you
for me,
be
man.
hard
From a
on
comment,
yourself, man.
I do.
You be hard on yourself, bro.
Hey, listen, man. I mean, I can admit that
Yeah.
I'm so much better. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so, it's the humility part about it.
For sure.
But man, you've been chopping it up for our relationship is in double
Yeah.
digits. And so I remember conversations that we had. You like, nah, bro. Anytime you walk in the room, man, you walk with your head up, saying your shoulders back. You're like, yo, I'm here. You know what I mean? Not in a sense of I'm better than any of y'all, but y'all not better than me either. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
And
That's
so
it.
and I took that with me, Key, and I take that with me today, and I move different. Just since our our relationship, me and you, become a homeboy. So that's been dope. That's been dope.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'll be cheating the viewers and the people watching this if I didn't ask you, with your extensive relationship with the wife, y'all been rocking for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Give the single men something out there that you learned through marriage that we should know.
Let's see. It ain't all about us.
Elaborate on that. Elaborate on
so like I think we get a picture in our head of what the perfect woman is, whether it be physically, whether it be vocationally, like where we want them to be, from an income standpoint, things of that nature, and don't, not willing to grow without women. If you love somebody, we know you love somebody. You know what I mean? It's no such thing as a perfect situation out there and a perfect person. One thing that I learned, and I would say to single men who may be in a serious relationship and marriages down the line, is just be humble and prepared to be long. So remember that it's not about you anymore. You're not on your own. Anytime you do anything, anytime you spend money, anytime you go anywhere, like you you do have somebody to answer to, just like she has somebody to answer to. A lot of dudes, I consider myself as a man's man. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go out at 11:30, and go to Walmart or go, here there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go. I don't really work like that, but I have somebody else to think about, because that doesn't make her comfortable. Then I'm like, all right, well, if you're really not comfortable with me going, like, it's nothing to me, for me to go, to Walmart, even though it's midnight or whatever. But she's worried and stuff like that. My wife lets me lead. You know what I mean? Like, we do things together. We make decisions together. But she understands that, like, I could go home right now and be like, listen, the spirit just hit me. I've been praying. We got to move to Minnesota. She can be like, let's go. You know what I mean? That's how she is. I mean, she is that way. Now, of course, there's going to be questions and stuff, but so yeah, man, just be willing to compromise, man. You just can't move the way you used to, and like, without answering it to anybody. Y'all do have to answer to each other, and humble yourself, with that whole notion.
Gotcha. That's dope, man. I kind of wish the wife was here now, 'cause I want to get a perspective of a woman of what she would share to the young women out there who are single.
Maybe that could be an episode somewhere down the line. She'll do it.
But your wife, what would she say?
If
just the same advice you gave to the men, what do you think the wife would say to the young women?
Well, she has a king mentality. So what she would tell them is to be humble and trust your man, and know that if you're going to be married, and through God, you ought to follow this man. You know what I mean? You ought to let him lead you.
What is it like working with the missus?
Oh, it ain't easy. Now you done open up another can of worms.
Yeah, the energy was like,
yeah. So, like, we get, we do some incredible things together, there at Trinity, and with, everybody else that we there with. But it has its moments. Especially in the role that I am now with, as administrator. I could be in class, and she's like this. Like I told you, she's really driven, and in her classroom, somebody don't come in there with their homework. Well, guess what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? I could be in there teaching algebra, but somebody, I can see them come by the window. Somebody will get marched down to my room and then she knows. And I tell her sometimes she take advantage of that. I said, if I wasn't your husband as administrator, you wouldn't be doing that. So you got some things that come with it too that make it tough. But it's beautiful. It needs to happen. I always tell her that, I always say, like, and then anytime we have arguments, it's usually about school. You know what I mean? We don't have.
I was going to ask you that, man, because I'm 98%. Pretty sure both of y'all bring that home.
Yeah, and we try not to.
Most people that are married, they don't work together.
Right.
So it's easy for them when they get out the car before they come in the house. I'm leaving my work day. out here.
Yeah, it's not.
But y'all working together. Y'all have that's another common thing that y'all have.
Yeah.
So y'all in bed probably talking about what little Johnny did
many
in
nights.
School today. Yeah.
We made some rules though, man.
Okay.
Like we made some rules for ourselves, and we have a cutoff point. Now some stuff is so pertinent that we do have to address, even though that we're at home. But if one person is like when you come home, when you're in our profession, all you're doing is talking all day and interacting all the time. Yeah. Like she's goal oriented and she's results driven. Period. And when it comes to those, and if anything get in her way of educating those kids, it's a problem. Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, but it's wonderful that mentality has a lot to do with the success that we're able to have with those kids, because it's the same thing every single day. Like we don't get tired. Like you can't get tired. Yeah. So
yeah, I feel you on that. At a certain point, you be done.
Oh yeah,
peopling.
Oh yeah,
you be done communicating. It's been times we worked out. We've been in this for a long time. We've been working out together for what, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
We've known each other longer than that, but.
Nah. You got that wrong, dog. It's been like 10 years, man. It's been like 10, 11 when we started.
We've known each other that long. I don't think we've worked out.
Within a year, whenever we first, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. We have. Yeah, it's been a minute.
But back to what I was saying, there's been times where we be like, we're gonna work out and we'll meet at the gym, and you ain't saying nothing the whole time. But I've learned
Right.
I've learned that about you. So now when I can tell, like, when it's going in that direction, I'm gonna leave bro alone.
Been one of them days.
He just wants some company.
I was gonna listen to my music, maybe there's something here and there.
But
I'm better. I'm better though.
Even I'll say something to you, and you'll take the headphones off, like
with the grill, right? I'm better though.
What we working out together? I need some therapy.
I'm getting better at that though. I've gotten better over the years.
Right. Yeah, listen, I'm better at it too because I understand you better.
Right.
I know when to just let you be and just holler at you whenever.
Right.
But that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate you coming by today, man, and chopping it up with your boy. I felt like, tell the people how many kids you done put in college, man.
Whoa, dude. Well, you know me, so to have an exact number, man.
Give us an idea. Basketball and football.
Well, from a basketball standpoint, like I said, I'm an assistant in basketball,
but you help develop a lot of these kids.
Like they probably gonna be disappointed some at Trinity because I don't even think about that key, man. But it's been if you put both of them together, dog, you talk out of little Trinity, man, you talking a couple hundred, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all, it's been crazy. Gym over there, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Y'all are a gym over there as far as getting these kids to the next level, whether it be D1, D2, D3. At least they're continuing their education.
That's right.
And a lot of them get full rides to go play on at these different schools. And that's to what y'all put together out there, man. And I salute you. I salute Pastor, who's a great man himself, and everything that it takes to work out there to keep that thing going for y'all.
Absolutely. I will say this before you. I have to shout out mom dudes, man, because I don't want to make it seem like me coming from a single parent household, like mom didn't do due diligence as far as raising me. She did the best she could. She didn't try to play as father, and I owe her a whole lot. Me and my bro, because there was a lot of sacrifice going there. I just want to throw that plug in there. She might end up watching this, man. I want to let my mama know I love her.
We're gonna provide the YouTube link so you can send it to us. So thank y'all for tuning in to the Suited to Serve podcast. We appreciate y'all.